You will be shocked by what's in the new act coming in on April 1st, 2022. It's the COVID-19 Public Health Response Order 2021, taking effect April 1st, 2022. And just listen to this is amazing. This legislation will allow for the lockdown of unvaccinated or insufficiently vaccinated individuals, the ability to restrict travel within the country to unvaccinated or insufficiently vaccinated people. So basically just, if you haven't got the booster, you can't go anywhere at all. Withhold certification from those who do not get required boosters or subsequent combinations of vaccines as may be ordered at any time. So, yeah. The ability to dictate the type of form or certification required for proof of vaccination status. So they can just change shit at any time. They can change what you need, what vaccines you need. So, because that's what this part is. Withhold certification from those who do not get required boosters or subsequent combinations of vaccines as may be ordered at any time. Subsequent combinations of vaccines, which means they can just add shit to this vaccine list. They can just keep adding shit. You thought COVID was it. You're wrong. What else? The ability to dictate what other information may be required for the renewal of vaccine certificates. So, could add some more shit. And what information may be contained on such a certificate. So they can put more stuff on there. The period for which a vaccine certificate is valid can be changed at any time. And who it is that may be entitled or eligible to have these certificates can be changed at any time. The specification of mandates for entire job sectors can be changed at any time. The order of certain jobs to require regular mandatory testing and medical examinations from doctors, which won't be private. Your doctor-patient privilege is gone. You sign that away anyway, already. Enforcement officers to be able to demand certification pretty much at any time. The appointment of enforcement officers that can be anybody they wish to appoint, and not necessarily police. The enforcement officers to inspect and take copies of certification to be verified at a later date before immediately returning such documentation. The provision of an assessment tool for employers to use to determine which should be vaccine mandated. The employers can totally disregard the assessment tool and mandate at whim. Legal or other representatives of employees may be refused entry to workplaces. Contact tracing information may be used against a person in order to enforce the act. And employees who have been dismissed for non-compliance of testing or vaccination but comply at the last minute may still be dismissed if the employer deems revoking the dismissal to be disruptive.
That's Jacinda Ardern's government passing tyrannical legislation to destroy you further in New Zealand. Underneath these tweets of Jacinda Ardern, I see people writing these comments about how they don't understand why it is that so many people do not like Jacinda Ardern. I posted this video a couple of weeks ago. New Zealand euthanasia law, Jacinda Ardern's Communist and World Economic Forum background. These young global leaders coming out of the World Economic Forum, the school that Klaus Schwab founded, they're working for Klaus Schwab. Jacinda Ardern is a communist. She is absolutely not representing you, New Zealanders. She is representing the World Economic Forum's desire to create the Great Reset, reshaping the world for the quote-unquote elite, the very wealthy elite's pleasure. And it will not be pleasurable for us. So far, we are now already their slaves. It's only going to get more slave-like as we let this continue. And it's not just Jacinda. Oh, he's got a lot. Klaus Schwab, he's got a lot of young leaders like Emmanuel Macron, Justin Trudeau, the young global leader, the mayor of London, Javid, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. They're all connected to the World Economic Forum. Gavin Newsom, Peter Buttigieg, who's the Secretary of Transportation, Angela Merkel, George Soros, Mario Draghi, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name, Boris Johnson, Kurz, and the President of the European Commission, the Director General of the World Health Organization, Mark Rutte, Prime Minister of the Netherlands. And then people will say, oh, but the Netherlands, they're opening up, Carol. He's not one of them. No, he is one of them. They're playing a game with the world's people. It's a small club and you're not in it. Who else? How about Putin? Yeah. And I'm going to let you listen to a video of Klaus Schwab himself talking in 2017 at Harvard about, oh, those young global leaders, mentioning a few. We also have the Prime Minister of Belgium, the Prime Minister of Finland. They're all, and this is from the World Economic Forum's Young Global Leaders website, they're all working for Klaus. They don't care about you. And they're enriching themselves as they do, because Jacinda has made quite a lot of money by being a politician. Representing you? No. Now she's anywhere from 5 to 20 million strong. Okay, so let's listen to Klaus. Then we'll listen to Prime Minister Trudeau. And then we'll listen to others who are trying to fight this incredible evil that is just spreading its tentacles far and wide all over the world, strangling. It's the strangulation of life is what is occurring. So, as outrageous and crazy it sounds, everything I said is true.
And I have to say, when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
And that's true in Argentina too. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's true in Argentina as well.
It's true in Argentina, and it's true in France now. Mm-hmm. I'm with the president, with a young global leader.
You know, what I really liked about the second book is that it starts talking about values and the principles of the revolution. And I think that's key. You know, we share similar values as well, exactly. And views on the world, which I think it's possible. One of them that we're pushing hard is decarbonization. Yeah. We're going to launch our commitment on decarbonization in February. That means we're going to 99% renewable and clean electricity. Mm-hmm. And now the challenge is we're going to plug that matrix onto transportation to reduce dramatically the emissions and to reduce the usage of fossil fuels until we don't use those anymore.
I know you play also a very important role in preserving, let's say, your forests. You have a young population, you have a relatively well-educated population. You can use the fourth industrial revolution to create, let's say, fast-track growth for your country.
My commitment will be to add value. We'll be part of the Young Leaders Initiative.
Mrs. Merkel, Tony Blair, they were all, even President Putin, they were all young global leaders before. Mm. So if I take you, if I take Chancellor Kurz, and the New Zealand Prime Minister, the three youngest leaders of governments are here. So I know you have many beautiful things in your country, but it characterizes the diversity, and at the same time, everything goes up.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We call it Mount Crystal.
Regardless of the fact that we are attacking your fundamental rights or limiting your fundamental rights, and the Charter says that was wrong, we're still going to go ahead and do with it. It's basically a loophole that allows a majority to override fundamental rights of a minority.
Remember the terrible damage of COVID as we try to build back from this global pandemic.
Build back better.
Build back better.
To build back a better world.
Building back better.
To build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
And build it back better.
Build back better.
My plan to build back better.
Start taking all the problems that have been created in education, mental health, and start to build back in a positive way.
It's about building this country back better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
Build back better.
Some would say to build back better.
Better than before.
We know how hard people have worked to keep themselves safe, to wear masks, to get vaccinated, to do all the right things. And it's a slap in the face to see people putting themselves, putting their fellow citizens at risk by being completely irresponsible.
Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. Say with the really not. Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. Say with the really not. Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. Say with the
There are there's nurses, there's paramedics, there's hospital workers, there's doctors, there's lawyers. You're going to see it all come out of the woodwork because we just needed some confidence. People just needed the confidence, and here they have it now. And you can't put this genie back in the bottle. It's only going to grow. So the demands are Ottawa, resign, and we're going to put in a proper government that actually follows the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Option 2, end all mandates and finish this. And that's only the beginning, because we've also got all kinds of legal cases that are going to be going through, and justice will be served. So you can go out as somebody that went along with the program for a while, but then found a conscience and decided to side with the people and tell the truth. Or you can go down in history as a tyrant and a traitor to this country. That's the choice. So make it a good one, Ottawa. All those media journalists out there working for the fake news, you're not going to be exempt. You're not going to be exempt. You were the tip of the spear, following orders, putting out a narrative that was fake. You are targeting groups of people in your own country, and this is unlawful, this is immoral, and it's going to end. And so myself and numerous citizen journalists and professional journalists across this country are going to take back the bullhorn, and we are going to tell Canadians and the world the truth. And by saying the world, I'm not exaggerating. You know, I'm getting messages. I got messages from people in Germany who know more about this convoy than I do. So the whole world is watching this. The whole world is waiting to see what's going to happen in Canada. What's the government going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You'll do nothing. You'll step aside, and now it's time for Canadians to build this country. We're going to build back better, all right, but it's not going to be that globalist Klaus Schwab nonsense. It's going to be based on freedom, truth, and justice, and real law.
Before I show you several clips of what is taking place in Canada, this convoy, and it will only be short clips because I'm going to be posting more on it. This convoy is so impressive, and it is impressive seeing Canadians support the truckers. It actually brought me to tears twice today. Just the energy, looking at everybody supporting one another, and it's big, it's huge, and it's needed. I want to show you what the Secretary General of the United Nations tweeted just a few days ago. Well, this is the United Nations Action Areas 2022 from the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Tackle the pandemic, transform the global financial system, take urgent climate action, build sustainable peace, put people first in the digital world. But what did he actually tweet out? Today I urge all United Nations member countries to go into emergency mode around 5 action areas: fighting COVID-19, transforming the global financial system, tackling the climate crisis, putting people at the center of the digital world, delivering sustainable peace. All member countries, which is, I'd say, over 90% of the countries in the world, go into emergency mode. Emergency powers allows countries to do whatever the hell they want to do to their citizens. So, Antonio Guterres is basically telling the countries, get the job done. Get the job done. Now, more and more people are waking up. These massive protests all over the world, Western countries in particular, they're big, they're huge. I will be posting on that as well. Bigger and bigger. Americans came out for the March Against Mandates. There were thousands. The convoy. They're getting it. They're getting, okay, we have to move fast, which means we've got to move fast, which means that when I say, okay, from his mouth to God's ears, when he was talking about taking back the country of Canada and building back better, Not for them, but for us, with freedom. And we have to keep moving. We have to keep taking action. More people have to get involved and do whatever it is that you can. You know, this fight is never ending because evil never stops. They just keep going to get the job done. That's why it's got to be nipped in the bud the minute you see the psychopaths, the evil, because if you don't, it just grows and grows and grows, and that's exactly what we are facing today. That's why everything has to become big, enormous, and more people have to get involved. So I'm going to play a short clip of Dr. Ryan, who is a World Health Organization official, telling you that the next pandemic, right? We've heard it before. We've heard it from Bill Gates. The next pandemic that's going to be worse than this pandemic, it's coming. And unless we can wake up more and more people, we don't have a fighting chance. We've got to get more people involved. We have to get more people to come out of their slumber or their hypnotic state of mind and start doing some research to find out what really is going on here. They are transforming the world, not for you, for them. It will be a world. Two classes, the rulers and the ruled. We're the ruled. I don't know about you. I don't like it. We've got to do all that we can every single day. It's a big fight. It's exhausting. You got to keep going. So, right after hearing about how there's going to be a next pandemic, I'll show you this convoy, and I will post more videos on it because it's very impressive. It's inspiring. It's inspiring. That's why it's important for people to get out, join, whatever groups are protesting. Yeah, I know. Protests don't work. You know what? I'm tired of hearing that. Do what you can. The bigger things get, the more impressive they are, and the more inspiring they are. Inspiring people to take some action themselves.
We have a virus that's killing millions of people. It's disrupting our hospitals, disrupting our society. But that's not necessarily the big one. That there are other challenges down the line. And if we're looking at this for the future, we don't have a system fit for purpose. I think we are faced with an existential crisis as a race and as a civilization on this planet. What is very clear that the current mechanisms that are in place for the production of vaccines do not lead to the equitable distribution of these vaccines. We can sit here all night and we can discuss why that is, but that needs to be fixed because we can't go around one more time like this. We have a tragedy on our hands. It is the responsibility of the multilateral sector, the public and private sector, to come together and make the changes needed to make our system fit for purpose. Everyone has a stake in that. Everyone is a partner. Nobody is a master. And we've been too long discussing this issue around who's in charge. Everybody's in charge because everybody's at risk. So we need a multilateral, transnational solution with public-private engagement to find a robust mechanism and a robust means, not only to finish this pandemic, because what we come out of this pandemic will be what we take into the next one. And therefore, the lessons we learn now will define our performance in the next pandemic. We won't end the virus this year. We may never end the virus. These viruses, pandemic viruses, end up becoming part of the ecosystem. What we can end is a public health emergency. And that's why the Director General, Dr. Tedros, declared that emergency the end of January 2020. The issue is, it's the death, it's the hospitalizations, it's the disruption of our social, economic, political systems that's caused the tragedy, not the virus.
Freedom! Nothing but!
Winnipegger Robert Jorgensen says he'll join the convoy and follow the truck drivers all the way to Ottawa.
It isn't even about a vaccine anymore. It's not. So it isn't about a vaccine mandate on truckers. This is about the entire thing. It's got to go. Trudeau has got to go. This is over, as far as I'm concerned. My family, I've been free my whole life, and now all of a sudden I'm not. This is Canada.
A group of about 100 supporters stood along the Trans-Canada Highway just west of Winnipeg. Some yelled profanities. Others who spoke to CBC say the new vaccine mandate goes too far.
We're tired of dividing people, vax people to unvax people. That is not supposed to happen. We are all one and we're all in this together. And it needs to stop right now.
Some brought supplies for the truck drivers like food, water, and windshield washer fluid.
I'm just supporting them because I want the right to choose for myself as well. I'm not anti-vax or anything like that, and I just want to be able to make my own choice.
Organized by a group that opposes public health mandates, the convoy appears to be growing, with trucks from across Western Canada. It took the convoy an hour to roll past. They had planned to stop for gas at this truck stop.
There's too many people. Like, look at here, we're gonna get people run over. So they don't think they can swing the corner with their semis and fit in there. So they said they wanted to keep going through.
The Canadian Trucking Alliance says it strongly disapproves of the protest. The industry group says the vast majority of Canadian truckers are vaccinated.
Better to go south, but if there's no room in the flying we cannot enter there. We need to make sure.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, Headingley, this is, oh gosh, this is crazy. Oh my goodness.
They pushed everybody over. It's insane. Oh my goodness, the parking lot's empty. I am not joking right now. The parking lot is empty. They pushed a lot of people over.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Room in that parking lot for a few.
I can't believe this. Oh my god, look at you guys looking down the street.
Cutting off the organizer saying it's unsafe to come into Flying J, and I don't think that's true, is it? You guys should stop right here, don't go up to the cops until you change their mind.
No guys, we have to make sure the law enforcement has the right of way. If they tell us to take it in, then we take it in.
I'm sitting in the Flying J parking lot here right now, guys. There's